Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Gina and today is hopefully day 6 of Veda if I haven't changed anything. And I just thought I would talk about some series that I would really like or hope to finish in 2021. The majority of these are because I'm basically one book away from finishing the series, so it would be ridiculous if I went a whole year without reading any of them. So let's just jump right into it. The first one that we have is the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I have read the first two, and I just have the third one left, Ruin and Rising, I believe. Yeah, I really liked book 1 and 2. I gave the first two books both 4 stars. And I know the Netflix show comes out this year, and I already read the Six of Crows duology, which I loved even more than the first 2 books of this series. And so it would be nice to just have this all completed before or around when the show comes out, which honestly I have no idea when that is. I should probably check that. But that's top of my list, though I just realized it's still not on my April TBR, so May? Maybe? The next series on my list is the Amte Origins. I actually have no idea how to pronounce this. By Amanda Hocking. Yeah. I read Amanda Hocking years ago before I was rating books, and I actually had the first book in this series on my shelf, so I ended up reading it at the end of last year, and I really liked it. It was super cute. I think I gave it Lost City, yeah. Both Lost City and The Morning Flower, books 1 and book 2, I gave 4 stars because I really enjoyed the characters and the plot. And so the last book, The Ever After, would conclude this trilogy, this arc, because it's all set in the same world as the books that I read in the past that I don't remember at all. But yeah, so I'd like to get that one done, especially because I've had thoughts about possibly going back and rereading some of the books that I read years ago that I never rated, and it's probably been long enough that I'll probably have forgotten. I won't be, what's the word? Normally I don't reread books because the second, even though I have a horrible memory and like after the fact, telling you what the book is about, I suck at. But when I start rereading a book, it all like instantly comes back, and I read because I want to enjoy the journey, the experience of reading. Once I've been on the journey, I don't necessarily want to go on the journey again, even if I loved the journey. You get it? Yeah? Okay. I know, that's weird. I don't know. There's just so many books in the world. I can't reread stuff when there's so much more stuff that I could be reading and experiencing, you know? But still, I'd like to know if any of those books hold up or what I would rate them. Anyway, that's a different video. The next book, on my series is the Caraval series by, let's try this again. The moment when you pause the video because you don't remember the author's name, and then you forget to unpause, and you finish the video only to realize you weren't recording any of it. Okay, so apparently I was talking about the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. I read the first 2 books and I really enjoyed them. Gave them both 4 stars. All I have left is finale, which is going to be interesting because I know we followed Scarlet in the first book. I mean, we followed both of them, but like, we followed Scarlet in the first book. We followed Tella in the second book. And so maybe this third one is going to be a mismatch of the 2. So that'll be exciting to kind of see where their story goes with what's his name, and all the romance for that. So I'm really excited for that. Let's see where I was. Oh my god, that was only the everything. Okay, wow. Alrighty, the next series that I want to finish is a duology, and that is the Shatter the Sky duology by Rebecca Kim Wells. I read the first book, Shatter the Sky, and really liked it. I'm really keen. Oh my god, I'm itching. Really keen to read the second book, which is Storm the Earth. I was hoping to squeeze it into Buzzwordathon this month, but it's not going to happen. But this one was a sapphic romance fantasy with dragons, so it's fantastic. I might be easy to please. I don't know. So this one is about Marin and Kaya, and in this world you get like tested for powers, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly. And Kaya gets tested and taken. She does not want to go, but you don't really have a choice in the matter. And so Marin goes on a journey to try to rescue her girlfriend because she can't live without her. And dragons, there's nothing else I want to say. Dragons, I need to finish it. The next one I'm 1 book away from is the Daevabad trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. I read the first 2, really enjoyed them, gave them both 4 stars. And so now I need to read The Empire of Gold. They are bigger books. And I would like to get to it at the end of the year. I'm not in like a big rush. When book 1 ended, I feel like it left it on a note like, oh my, what the that I really was like, I need to read the second book and I need to read it now. Now I'm at a point where I really enjoyed the second book and I do want to read the third book, but I don't have to read it tomorrow, kind of thing. I don't know, but I do really enjoy this series. The next one is a duology. I think there's only going to be 2. This is Nnedi Okorafor. I read Akata Witch earlier this year, January, December. Time is meaningless. And it was a really, really enjoyable, cute story. Not middle grade, but definitely follows middle grade age kids, I guess. But it's a fantasy. Would you call this sci-fi? I don't know, I wouldn't. SFF, speculative fiction. Oh my god, dog, can you please get out of the way? He always sits right by my feet and then gets mad when I have to move my feet because I need a new position or I'm uncomfortable. Always gets mad. I'm like, go sit in your dog bed. It's literally right next to me. Anyway, Don't you start. No. Go lay down. Go lay down. Just because I talked about your brother doesn't mean you get to come harass me. Please go lay down. It's not dinner time yet. Don't. We're just going to try to ignore the dog. So the second book, Akata Warrior, I'm guessing is just going to be kind of like another installment adventure, like let's save the world again, or because from what I remember, the first book, Akata Witch, wrapped up fairly nicely. So I don't think it's that kind of sequel. I think it's there's another problem and you're growing up and learning more and you have to fix this issue too, kind of thing. I don't know. But I love Nnedi Okorafor. She's basically become like an auto read. Oh my god. The next series is the Hollow Crown duology by Zoraida Cordova. I read Incendiary. I really liked it. I know some people had some issues with it, apparently. I don't know what all of those issues are. They're literally both looking at me. Can't handle this. But the second book doesn't actually come out until May. And that's Illusionary. Illusionary. And so that one had followed like there was a kingdom that had been like taken over and the princess and some of the people escaped and were like protected on this island, but then the princess sends her decoy clone into the city for something as like I don't remember why she went there or like the word that I want to use, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to get to the second one. Oh my god, dog. Oh yeah, and then the next two I also can't finish right away, but I do want to finish before the end of the year because their second books come out this year. Second and I'm pretty sure last. The first one is A Song of Race and Ruin by Roseanne Brown. The second one I think is a Psalm of Storms and Silence. And I really liked the first one. I know some people didn't. I gave it 4 stars, and I'm excited to see what happens between Malik and Karina, I think was her name. Seeing as how the first book ended. So, yeah. And that one comes out in August. The next one that I want to read is the second book in the A Song Below Water, which is called A Chorus Rises by Bethany C. Morrow. This one's going to be different because it's not necessarily following the same character as the first book. It is following one of the side characters from the first book. She was kind of like the mean, not necessarily mean, but privileged, popular girl, Naima. So we'll see. She wasn't my favorite character in the first book, but hopefully maybe she'll redeem herself in this, or we'll get backstory. But it's mermaids. I'm gonna read it. And then this one, I think she's called an Iloko. Something about her song. I forget what her song can do something. It's not the same as a siren. But that one comes out in June. The next one, I I'm gonna read it because I want to finish the series. I did enjoy the first book, though as time goes on, I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as I think I did. And that's the Islands of Blood and Storm duology. I read Queen of something by Case and Calendar, Queen of the Conquered, and there were a few issues with that, like with that main character, whatever, I can't think of her name life of me right now. But the second book, it looks like it's going to be more of a following the slave Lauren, and so it'll be interesting. I want to see how it ends, but I'm not letting myself get like super hyped excited because I know I had some issues with the first one. The second to last one was the Jumbies series by Tracy Baptiste. I read the first one and I liked it. It was okay. I didn't love it. I think I gave it a 3-star, maybe a low 4-star. And I wasn't going to actually continue on with the series. I wasn't going to do it. And then somebody hyped up the second book and mentioned that it dealt with mermaids, and I was like, done. It was actually, I think I needed to fill a mermaid prompt in a readathon or in my TBR game. And I was like, you know what, we'll do it. And I'm so glad I did because book 2 was so good. So good. I loved it. And so I'm definitely going to read the last book in the series. It's with the Jumbie God's Revenge. I don't know what it's about, where it's going, since they kind of wrap up each book somewhat. Yeah, I don't know who the Jumbie God is. Sure, if I had a brain that remembered things, I might know. And actually that's on my April TBR. So I'm not sure exactly when this video comes out, but it's possible that I might have already finished that series, which is fantastic. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about is the Sands of, I'm going to butcher this, Arawia? And this one's by Hafsa Faisal. I read We Hunt the Flame because Cecilia Tahiri, I think it was her book club, was doing We Free the Stars, and I wanted to join, but I hadn't read the first one, and then stuff happened, it didn't happen. But I read We Hunt the Flame, and it was so good. 5 stars. I loved it so much that I am ready for We Free the Stars. And did I get it on my readathon? I did. It's on my TBR for April as well, as one of the Buzzwordathon books. So super excited. By the end of April, I will also have that one completed. And then that just leaves another 50 series to work on. What? I didn't tell you? Yeah, so those were all the books that I am just one away from finishing, so it would be silly to just leave them. There's no way for me to finish all of my series. I have 56, I think, series that are open, uncompleted. I will say I should also possibly complete the Witchlands series because I am doing Witchlandsalong with J.D. Ray Reads. I already read the first one for that last year, so I'll be continuing on with the second book in April. And I will possibly also be finishing the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. We'll see. I don't think I loved the second book as much as I did the first one. but I could be making that up. But because they're doing Tagalong, and I would like to be able to participate in that. So hopefully I'll be able to continue with this series. And I will also finish that one, which would be fantastic. Um, there's quite a few more that I am 2 away from. And maybe that'll be next year's list to complete. Hopefully I'll be able to continue with a few more of these series so that I can do another one of these I need to finish next year. But yeah, I can show you my little book here. I can't. There we go. A lot of empty squares. Some of them are like romance ones, and so those ones I don't need to finish, and I probably won't ever be on a need to finish. They're just something nice that I can continue on with, like the Side Changeling series, the Midnight Hunters series, things like that. Mercy Thompson by Patricia Briggs. There's like 17 plus books or something each of those, so those are just things that will probably take a decade. Not really, I read a lot, but there's also a ton of books out there to read. 10 series that I need to finish or want to finish in 2021, and I'm a voracious reader, so I don't see that as being a problem. I just have to remember to put them on TBRs as the year goes on, which is always the tricky part to remember. So that is it. Stopping there. Let me know if you've read any of those series, or if you are planning on reading any of those series, and maybe we can chat about it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.